I continue tearing through the chapters of this book and picking out just a few gems for the last time to share with you. In this day and age, my friends, it seems like everybody's very busy telling other people what they can and can't say, especially what they can't say. I read a post the other day on LinkedIn, I think, somebody saying you can't use objecting to the use of warm regards to finish email correspondence. There's the online English tutor that made the video, don't say how are you, because it's boring and common. I think I've made a clip objecting to that in the past, but that spawned a plethora of similar don't say this, don't say that videos, which, we don't really need either. Somebody in personal correspondence a while back, they said, I wrote hi there. And they said, what's hi there? Just hi is good enough. Sorry. So I was a bit hesitant to make another don't say, don't do, don't clip, but I am doing, because I think it might help. But, well, you can decide. Thing is, and I've done this myself, I've certainly heard teachers doing it, feeling slightly guilty for using the course book for preparing or planning or to be about to give a course book based lesson to their students. You hear stuff in the teacher's room like, oh, I'm just using the book today, or they actually say to the students, sorry guys, we're just doing the book today. It's and sometimes going one step further and not actually feeling guilty or apologising, but actually openly criticising the book in the lesson to their students. I don't like this book anyway. I would advise against that. I would refrain from that. That's the point of this clip today, for a number of reasons. One, some of your students might actually like the book. So, you're taking that sort of, in Spanish we say quitar la ilusión, take away that enjoyment for them. Some of them might be quite proud of their book. They come to the English school, their English class or their English academy. It might represent a considerable investment for them. And that you also you're kind of taking the energy out of the class. I think it's counterproductive, and that sort of reaction to the book. If the teacher doesn't even like the book, why should we? Then it can spread, and you can get this kind of classroom culture of size, and that whenever you ask your students to do something from your course book. Plus, sometimes teenagers are kind of a captive audience, and they will use leverage with the teacher if they think they can. We know that the teacher sort of feels guilty for giving us something from the book, so maybe we'll use that to try and negotiate something else or maneuver the teacher into doing something else. Teachers are not inherently manipulative per se, but they don't have a lot of control in classrooms, so they have to use what they have sometimes. And so I think that can also sometimes happen. And finally, it makes you look a bit silly, really. You're the teacher. What are you doing coming into a class, agreeing to teach a class with materials that you don't even like? Maybe that's on you, the teacher, to step up, and challenge your institution or successfully negotiate materials or a syllabus or something like that you are, happy with. Again, the classroom in front of your students is not the place for you to air your grievances with your institution or with the ELT community, and accepted methodologies at large. Your students don't really need to know that. I think it weakens your position in a classroom, especially a classroom of teenagers. So, what can I offer you that isn't a don't? Well, maybe just affirm the book. Say to your students, it's a good book. A lot of effort went into writing it. Or if you don't like the book and you can't bring yourself through your own sense of personal integrity to do that, I'm sure there will be some things in a book or a set syllabus, whatever materials. There will be some things that you like, and you can say, I like some things in this book, or this part's done quite well. You don't have to talk about the things you don't like, and that. Or saying to your students, you could say, just, let's see if we can do the book better. Let's see if we can take this further. Yeah, let's do what's on the page, but let's do more than what's on the page. Yeah, let's make it our own, people. Let's give you that language, and let's see how we can personalise it a little bit, and then move from there. That, my friends, is the advice for today. As always, strength and energy with your teaching.